What's going on, champs and champets? It's FireMonkey here, and in today's YouTube video, we have to talk about a very serious situation that happened recently with Twitchcon, and by recently, I mean within the past day. Now, for those who don't know, to basically explain what Twitchcon is, like super simply, super fast, Twitchcon was an event being hosted by Twitch in San Diego, where you could go up and meet your favorite creators in person, like Dream, you know, you could meet some other people that were also big Twitch streamers, Ludwig, other people on YouTube and whatnot. It was just basically, you know, a creator event hosted by Twitch where you'd be able to meet some people, have some free fun, you know, messing around with other, you know, like mini games hosted by companies, brands, or whatever else, and earn some free goodies. Now, the issue with TwitchCon, where I'm even talking about it, because I will be honest, I don't really care about convention centers too much, was that they were having an event hosted by Legion and Intel, which caused people to actually get bodily harmed. Now, this was a ball pit battle arena, and the whole entire ball pit theme, right, was, hey, you and one other person are on very small platforms, you have a pool noodle, and the whole entire goal is to try whacking the other person off into the ball pit. And to face the facts here, just to simply give it to you straight, this wasn't a ball pit, right? Despite it being advertised as such, this was more so a ball floor, because it was a top layer of, you know, styrofoam balls that aren't going to break your fall at all, and then a bottom layer of hardwood floor. There was not enough, you know, deepness or anything to make it so if someone was to fall on that, jump onto it or anything, they wouldn't get harmed. And as you can see in the background footage, one of the clips that someone's posted on Twitter of a popular content creator with over 1 million Twitter followers, they had jumped onto the ball pit floor, because when you see a ball pit, you think, oh, this is something I can jump onto, and because of them trying to jump onto it, you know, have some fun, they ended up breaking multiple bones, I think in their legs, from what I've seen on Twitter, you know, from what I've seen people state, and it wasn't just this one incident, right? It wasn't just a freak accident, because other people are now coming out now and mentioning that, yeah, their friends or other people that, you know, went to TwitchCon have broken their legs on this exact same event, broken bones in their body and stuff, from specifically this ball pit arena thing that was being hosted by Intel, and it sucks to see it happening. Now, there's been a lot of people over on Twitter trying to figure out, you know, legally if people could sue for, you know, getting injured and whatnot, and from what I have seen, now keep in mind I'm not a legal expert, it appears that there might be a good case, because in the waiver that people actually signed, apparently from the only page I've seen, which is apparently, you know, page 2 or something, they were signing a waiver that mentioned specifically that they, you know, understand that, you know, there might be some bodily harm or risk of injury and stuff like that, but that, you know, Legion, Logitech, or not Logitech, my bad, but Legion and Intel would make sure that, you know, this would be as safe as humanly possible, following all the right, you know, guidelines or whatever. So there might be a case, but there might not be, because, you know, they mentioned that they would try finding and making sure that this event was going to be safe for people to actually participate in, and as we saw, no, it wasn't safe. And in fact, in the clip that I showed you guys, despite it being muted, one of the big things that happened was during it, they mentioned, right, when the actual creator here had fallen onto the ground, you know, they were kind of like struggling to get up, someone had asked the commentator, are they fine? And then they were like, yeah, they're fine, they're totally, like, they're fine, right? It's just the ball pit consuming them or whatever, right? They were trying to make a joke out of it instead of, you know, trying to stop what they were doing, making sure they were okay, and potentially, you know, shutting down this booth so that they could fix it up, you know, cancel the event, do something else, because obviously people are getting injured to it. Instead, they were just like, nah, you know, the ball pit's sucking them up, the ball pit's consuming them, that's all that's happening there. And also, according to Twitter, speaking of, you know, the whole entire them not shutting down this ball pit thing, apparently they kept it running, right? They kept the ball pit running and allowed people to participate in it, you know, messing around in the ball pit until noon that same day, or maybe a day later or something like that. And the reason they shut it down was more to, you know, not because of people getting harmed and stuff like that, but more because, you know, equipment was being damaged or something along those lines. And in fact, I'm going to quickly pull up the original tweet I saw regarding why they shut it down. Okay, yeah, I just pulled it up on my other monitor, and according to the person who was talking about everything, this might actually have been a booth in collaboration with Lenovo as well, or it could have just been a typo, because despite it only saying Legion and Intel on the actual, like, poster or anything for it, apparently Lenovo was also involved, according to Twitch staff, but they did mention that the ball pit was closed now, not because of people breaking bones, right, but instead because of people breaking rules, right? You would think that people breaking bones would be a little bit more important than someone breaking a rule on how to use a ball pit. You would think that maybe someone breaking bones in their body, getting injured, would be more of a concern, but nope, apparently it only becomes a concern when people decide, oh, you know what, I'm gonna have a little bit extra fun with this ball pit, I'm gonna break a rule or two, and not so much I am going to break every bone in my body because, you know, fun pit that I shouldn't have broken my bones in exists, right? It just, I'm kind of, you know, now that I have, like, recalled back to that tweet, and we know that they, like, shut it down because of people, you know, breaking the rules, it makes me even more sad to see that, you know, after seeing people get injured, and after even kind of like commentating and making a joke about someone getting injured, your response was, oh yeah, we shut it down, you know, because people decided to break the rules. It doesn't make sense. It sounds tone deaf, and I don't agree with it, but of course, you know, maybe there was more information that wasn't shared by Twitch staff or, you know, anyone else hosting this event that could bring more light to the whole entire situation and could fill in that, hey, yeah, they did realize there was injuries being happening here, and they did try fixing it by shutting down this pit. But still, the fact still remains, it was an event going on for for a long period of time, where not only content creators, but other individual people alike, you know, people who are just going there to meet creators or just have some fun experience a convention, were getting harmed because of it. And I find it stupid, right? I find it so dumb that this even has to be a topic. This even has to be an issue. And now there's been a lot of people, you know, making jokes about it. They're like, oh, Twitch will pay, you know, like 50% because of the whole entire changes to their system currently, where they're like 50-50 for all creators instead of like 70-30 or whatnot. And while I understand the jokes, you know, while I'm not going to be mad at people making those jokes, I still feel sorry for the individuals who went to this event, you know, who were just trying to have some fun at TwitchCon and ended up getting harmed through no fault of their own, but by jumping into a ball pit that, knowing, you know, the simple logic of ball pits, that typically these are safe things to jump into, we were getting harmed from. It really sucks to hear, and, you know, my condolences go out to anyone who might have gotten harmed or know someone who got harmed at TwitchCon. I don't know why it's been such a trend this time around, but I've seen so many tweets and everything, so many like DMs and stuff from other content creators, from normal people alike who just went to the convention, who say that TwitchCon this time was basically a disaster, right? There were so many people getting harmed, there was just so much going wrong with it, and while not all of it was Twitch's fault, you know, some of it was just people's faults in general, and, you know, other people are getting like pickpocketed and stuff, it still sucks to see that this is something that we have to be worried about, and this is something that we even have to talk about, right? Because from the looks of it, right, as someone who doesn't go to TwitchCon and never planned to in the first place, I always saw it as a place, you know, that was nice for the people who wanted to go and would be a fun experience. However, from all the disaster stories that are coming out, it really seems like we might not even see another TwitchCon in the future, just because of how disastrous this one was, and, you know, how even though Twitch had tried putting out tons of precautions and stuff, telling people to use masks or whatever else, that people were still getting injured, people were still getting hurt, tons of content creators and stuff are being sent to the hospital, and I just feel for everyone, right? I feel for everyone who got injured, I feel for all the, you know, terrible situations that were happening, and I hope that something can happen to actually, you know, make it so the people who got injured can have their hospital bills or something paid for, so that, you know, they're able to actually get surgery or, you know, get their bones fixed, whatever medication they need, and that Twitch owns up, or, you know, Legion, Logitech, I'm not Logitech, but Intel, whatever else, owns up to their mistake and tries helping support those who got injured. And who knows how many even got injured, because from Twitter, from a quick scroll, I saw like 2 to 3 people mentioning it happening, but not everyone has Twitter who went to this event, right? Not everyone's going to be able to post publicly, hey, I got injured from a Twitch event, I want to sue them or something like that, right? Not everyone's going to be able to do it, and it just sucks to really see. So I'd love to hear in the comments down below, what do you think about this situation? And do you think Twitch or Legion or, you know, Intel should be sued? Do you think there's a case to be had here? I just think that, you know, overall, it sucks to even hear that this is something we have to talk about, and it sucks for the people who got injured, and I just feel for them. I know I've kind of repeated the same thing over and over again, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to process the fact that, you know, at a fun event known as TwitchCon, where people are just supposed to be hanging out, you know, going to get free items or whatever from different brands like GamerSupps or whatnot, that people are leaving not with just free items, but also with a few missing bones, right? That's not exactly the price I would go to a convention center for, and I would assume that everyone else out there would not go to a convention center because, ooh, you know, I get some scrumptious bones broken in my body today. Oh boy, I can't wait, right? So with that said, I think that's all I really had to say about this topic. You know, it just really sucks, and I feel for anyone out there who might have gotten injured, and hopefully something happens in the future that prevents this from reoccurring, right? Hopefully something happens that prevents these injuries from happening, whether it be more quality assurance done beforehand to make sure whatever events are being hosted properly and without the chance of someone being injured or something like that. I just feel that something's got to happen, because even despite just this ball pit, there's been so many things I've seen on Twitter of just, you know, terrible situations. And with that said, I guess that's all I really have to end up with saying for today's video. So I'll see you champs and champettes next time when we talk and ramble on about whatever else happens out there in the wild, wild world. So, peace out.